I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
That's right, folks. Absolutely free. Head over to mypillow.com. Use promo code Oreo. Get your gear. Support our platform as well as an American First company and Mike Lindell for being such a great patriot. The left tried to cancel all of us, and we're still here, thankfully, because of you, the viewers, and because of people that support America First, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. We got a lot to cover today. As always, let me jump in the chats right here. Texas Bigfoot, Hunter, Texas RW, Haha's in the house, Nola's in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you would, click that like button, share this out, get this out. We got a lot of things to talk about. Some of the protests from last night, or for the last couple nights. Some of the deportations and what's going on. What else is on deck? Let's see. Threats to DOGE employees. And again, more of the mentally ill protesting in New York because they want gender mutilation surgery for children. It's just crazy, guys. It's just crazy what we are seeing. And it is Tuesday, February 4th. Tonight, we don't have our normal Bible study at church, so we are going to be going to a Clovis City Council meeting. We'll talk about that. We want to be a non-sanctuary city, just like Huntington Beach is. And so we're going to be over that. I don't know if we'll be live, but we're going to get into it while we get into the show anyways. So again, Melissa, how are you doing? So again, we're going to be hanging out, having some fun tonight. Okay, I seen this, and I just thought it would be a good way to start the show. We all talked about DEI and wokeness, and there was a lot of people that just laughed. They weren't mad, but the Grammys, something I didn't even know still existed. Country Music Album of the Year, and I want you to watch this right here. Let me share this screen. Take a look at this.
Do you know who won Best Country Artist or Country Album of the Year for the 2025 Grammys last night?
Hardy?
No.
Margot Almond?
No.
Ella Legme?
No.
Riley Green?
No.
Luke Combs?
Nope.
Bailey Zimmerman?
Nope.
Teddy Swims?
No.
Thomas Rhett?
No.
Let me think. What's her name? Megan Moroney?
No.
I give up.
Do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
Beyonce.
Oh my God.
She's not even country.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why things like, the Grammys have no weight. They don't bear anything. I think I can't remember who it was out. One of the country artists yesterday put out there how they're actually chosen. And it's not because you listen to them. It's not because you think they're great. That wouldn't be the case. That would probably be more like a People's Choice Award. And She's not getting the People's Choice Award from actual folks that listen to a real country. You know what else is happening? We got the Super Bowl this weekend. And you know what? I said it yesterday. Super Bowl for me is a good time to eat and pig out. There's not a whole lot going on elsewhere. So food. And we will be eating lots of food, some jalapeno poppers, some bacon wrapped jalapenos. What else? Some chicken wings, some hot wings, some spicy wings, some barbecue wings. And I seen this article as I was prepping for today's show. It was from Fox News. And it really contradicts what I heard, I think last night when I was reading up on some news articles that the NFL is not going to reverse any of its pretty much DEI policies. But then I seen this today. NFL to remove end racism phrase from end zones for Super Bowl. That's a start. I still appreciate a lot of the players in the NFL giving glory to God and giving thanks for where they've actually been able to make it to, which is actually some of what I think people want to see, is to actually have these football players. And trust me, I'm a Cowboys fan. I remember when we couldn't even huddle because we had so many people on felony probation. But again, they want great role models. And I've seen some really good role models come out of the NFL, especially recently. They don't get a whole lot of highlights or anything, but NFL to remove end racism phrase from end zones for Super Bowl. News is also reporting, maybe there's a coincidence here, never know, Donald Trump will be attending the Super Bowl. So that will be great. Also read up DHS and others have been working on securing the Super Bowl for 18 months so that it will be safe for everybody who attends. So that's great. I'm also covering some of the stuff. I thought this was great. Some of the people that have been rooting against the United States, even U.S. citizens, rooting against the United States, whether it had to do with tariffs, whether it has to do with Donald Trump's foreign policy. They just want America to fail as long as Trump's leading it, right? And I think we're doing a pretty good job right now. I was actually thinking myself, you know what? Sometimes they need to slow down because, I mean, there's a lot of great gifts. If you're an America First patriot, if you're an American nationalist, which if you're an American citizen, you should be an American nationalist, your country first, is that so much stuff's hitting so hard. Democrats don't even know which end is up right now. And that is pretty wild. We got Knuckleheads Homestead over there on X and Excrement Joe on Twitch. Thank you for being here today, and all the folks chatting right now on our Rumble chat. No, anybody and any other platform, thank you. So I seen this post today, and again, if we got to weed them out, let's weed them out. It says, we have owned property in the U.S. for 15 plus years and have decided to sell. We don't want any connections with the country whose leader is intent on destroying the economy of Canada, who taunts and insults us, thinking we'll want to be the 51st state. Enough. Leaving and never going back. Sounds like a win. Sounds like a win for people like us that are American patriots. It's kind of funny. We subsidize Canada. Again, Canada's economy is smaller than the economy of Texas. So I don't know if those people realize it or not yet. And if you look at Canada, they're not doing too well on things. You just had Justin Trudeau announce his resignation after you guys dealt with in Canada the same open border policies that Joe Biden had in place. Actually, when we interviewed people down at the southern border, they actually said they were going through the United States to get to Canada because Canada will give them more freebies. So have fun, Canada, the draft Dodger state, if you will. And we have a lot of great patriots in Canada. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to how it's run, just like people, like I said, I love and support Israel. The Bible says to pray for Israel. It doesn't mean I support everything Benjamin Netanyahu does. There's a difference there. So Bill Gates is making his headlines today as he goes on our favorite show, The View. Pro-vax, pro-chemicals, pro a lot of things that would end population as we know it. And we actually got 2 clips. The first clip's just going to be about the next chance of a severe pandemic. Let's listen.
Hopefully we'll get our act together before.
Before COVID, you say you spent the most sleepless nights worrying about pandemics. After COVID, has that changed? And it keeps you up now, because we all need to know.
Yeah, the pandemic sadly was fairly predictable, and it won't be the last pandemic. The next one could be far more severe. I mean, this one, it killed millions. It was awful. We got the vaccine. Actually, President Trump's leadership was a factor in getting that out quickly. And so when I spoke to him, I said, okay, here's some other medical innovations, including a thing called an HIV cure that could be accelerated. So, we should be more prepared both for a pandemic. I'd say that's still number one. You can worry about nuclear war. You can worry about AI. There's plenty to worry about. But overall, I'm an optimist.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's up to the government to think ahead on behalf of the citizens.
Yes.
So, pandemic, there's a lot that we should be doing that hopefully we'll get our act together before the next one comes. Overall, the innovation in health, both in the developing countries, the rich world, I love being part of that.
I was reading, though, that you said the next pandemic you are predicting within maybe 25 years. Is that
certainly
accurate?
we'll have one in the next 25 years. There's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now. So maybe 10% chance in the next 4 years.
10% chance in the next 4 years. How many remember when Fauci came out? I should have pulled up that video and pretty much predicted COVID before COVID was released from the China lab. These people, and I would agree on AI. I think AI is something we need to keep our eyes on. And but when it comes to these pandemics and how these big pharma shills are just pushing drugs that are unproven on us, well, we'll see how that lays out. And then we already know we have about 50% of the population that will line up the day they come out and be like, inject me, unfortunately, without any science-based evidence like we seen during the COVID pandemic. Really quick. Let's see. I just seen it in the chat. Where'd it go? Micro Taz is in the house. She says, hello, everyone. I got the package yesterday, Josh. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Again, Micro Taz won our last raffle that we did, and we're doing another one. I told you, I think each day I want to add something to it. I better not say that, because if I don't have anything to add to it. But this is right now, we are doing a raffle. It will be done Friday. Make sure you get in early. It is for some of the inauguration stuff and something else. So we have we got this in DC, the inauguration keychain, the pin, and they were selling these too. Trump fight gear. And this one, this right here, we were outside of the DC gulag. If you guys know and been following us, we've been out there numerous times, but this was for Rep. Eli Crane came out of Arizona. Rep. Eli Crane came and was out there advocating for the release of the pardoned hostages. And when I went up and talked to him and shook his hand, he gave me this coin here. On one side, it says Congressman Eli Crane, United States House of Representatives with an eagle. And then the other side says evil trumps when good men do nothing. Arizona 02, 118th Congress. So check that out. Let's see there. See if you can get a good look. We got studio lights in here, so it causes a reflection. So that right there. And then one of 3 hats. Either the camo Make Speech Free Again, the pink one, or the red one. You can have that autographed if you like. And again, we will be doing that raffle on Friday. If you want to get involved in that, this helps us, especially at the beginning of the month. We have multiple bills, lights, cameras, and actions we got to pay, and we are extremely short on that right now. So this is one of the ways we can get the bills paid here. You can donate any amount of $10. Increments of $10. So if you do $30, that's 3 entries, and we do the raffle live on here. The way you can do it is Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. All these ways can help us. If you prefer to do a Zelle transfer, go to the OreoExpress.com and click the donate now button. They have all those links. Want to say thank you to all those that help us stay afloat, and those that have helped us for so long. We appreciate you. And congrats, Mike Cortez, on getting that yesterday. Glad it got to you. So listen to this. This is interesting. Jamie Raskin, the same one that wanted to pull a coup on Donald Trump. Listen to what he says about another impeachment, believe it or not.
How many Republicans do we need to impeach him, and who are the most likely that will switch?
Well, right now it's 2.
Hold on, let me refresh it. Impeachment. This is.
Do we need to impeach him, and who are the most likely that will switch?
Well, right now it's 2.
How many Republicans do we need to impeach him, and who are the most likely that will switch?
Well, right now it's 218 to 215. So if you can find me 2 Republicans, I'll go to work tomorrow.
Okay.
You can find me 2 Republicans. I'll go to work tomorrow. Again, guys, this is. I'm sorry, but Democrats have done so much destruction to this country. They had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And what'd they do? Nothing. They raised the cost of living. They raised your electricity. They raised your grocery prices, your insurance cost, whether it was automobile insurance or health insurance. And now they just want to obstruct Trump trying to fix it. And I think it's just great. And then I seen this today. We shared this out on X. Hillary Clinton getting in the conversation. Elon Musk is mounting a blitzkrieg-style administrative coup of the U.S. government, accessing and editing critical systems that manage everything from Social Security payments to private taxpayer info. Join Invisible Team in D.C. today to demand to stop it. Let me show you the Invisible Team. The Invisible Team, this is what she's talking about. Building progressive grassroots power and holding members of Congress accountable. Check out our guide to defeating MAGA. That's all the left wants to do, is defeat making America great again. They don't lie about it. They're not hiding it. They want to go on their Marxist revolution that they've been on. And I just find it extremely satisfying to know that Hillary Clinton is pushing this. And again, this is the next grift for Democrats. Since the USA grift has been put on pause, and we're going to talk more about that today, they're having to get very creative and find ways to grift. So if you want to help them out and donate to their grift, the Invisible Team, it's just hilarious. They don't even have any posts since December 5th of 2024. How embarrassing, guys. Well, not as embarrassing as their voters. This is from I Mean, Therefore I Am. Meet a Sacramento queer science teacher who uses she, her pronoun and advocates for other teachers to start queering their education by integrating queer stories into their curriculum. Everything that we are fighting to get rid of, we don't want queer stories in our education. You know what we want? We want the reading levels to be above 33% in schools like Fresno. We want them to have, at least 90% math, proficient in math. I mean, we've covered education more than anything else. And let's take a listen.
Start querying your education. Start one little step. Put, one queer story into your curriculum. You feel confident in having those conversations, and also feel confident saying, I don't know. And that's a great question. And I'm going to do some research because I'm still learning, and we'll come back to it if you don't know. I think that's really important as educators to do.
Really important as educators to indoctrinate children when school should be nothing about what people do in their bedroom. Reproducing things that are natural that God created us to do is one thing. But once again, this is what we got. And Melissa, thank you for entering our raffle. Thank you for entering our raffle. We're going to try to make it better again tomorrow and add something else. We will at least add one more thing. Don't know what it is yet. I can't find anything right now. I have some stuff that I wanted to do. Colorado City Council member Stacy Gilmore is asking people to report ICE activities and real-time locations so that illegal aliens can be warned. Again, this is a council member going against the orders of our president, going against our immigration, our federal law. And this is her post. Stacy Gilmore, this is a challenging and heartbreaking time for our community. If you see activity by ICE, stay safe and know that you have every right to report it. More than 600 volunteers with Colorado Rapid Response Networks takes calls in English and Spanish 24/7. Maybe we should make calls to that 24/7. Let's get those numbers up there. Might play around a little later. I'm going to keep this one up. Maybe we'll make a call. Reporting illegal. Just crazy, guys. Again, now, you know that Trump has signed an executive order to stop the gender mutilization of children, to stop putting these kids that can't buy a beer, that can't buy cigarettes because they're just not mature enough. Their brain hasn't developed enough to make the right decisions. But Democrats, what do they want? They want them to be able to cut off their genitals. Watch this trans protest outside of NYU hospital over cancellation of trans surgeries. And then we got another one. We got two videos. The second one, you will see that, again, the trans phenomenon isn't people that are naturally born that way. God does not put you in the wrong body, but it's an environment, and we're going to talk about that. Listen to this one. And this was from In Wokeness on X.
Shut this entire city down. Watch. Because what they will try to do is they will try to separate us. They will kick the trans people off the bus. They're kicking the indigenous people off the bus. They're kicking our intersex community off the bus. Our Two-Sphere Plus family, they're kicking them off the bus. They just want a membership LGBT bus. Well, guess what, babe? That LGBT bus, it's not going to have any gas. It won't have any tires. Y'all not going any far. Because we are a community that is made and has been woven with the fire and the spirit of revolution. Revolution! Revolution! So the people that are not here with us, we want to take note. It's not that cold.
These people are out there protesting to do gender mutilization of children, to literally advocating for child abuse. And that's exactly what it is. So there is no way around it. There is no nothing else. There is a mental health condition with a lot of these folks. And when you watch the next one, you'll get that understanding. This was from Freedom News.
The aunt of a proud.
This person says about her own child and her own family members. And then you'll get an understanding that, again, this is the environment they're in. They have been raised and taught to believe this. Listen.
Most importantly, I am here today as the mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man. My best friend's kid is trans, and my kid's best friend is trans.
So just really quick before we go any farther, do you see something there? She's an aunt, a mother of a trans, her kid's best friend's trans. Again, it's a cult. It's a cult, and these people continue to push this. And there's a lot of sick and disgusting parents that push this on their children. We've covered those stories, but let's finish.
My wife and I, our lives are filled with the most amazing, beautiful, brave, trans people, young and old, but especially young. My trans kid had his top surgery at NYU a number of years ago. His doctors were fantastic. His surgeon was the best we could have imagined. And the idea that the city is filled with young people who thought they had a place to go where they could receive the highest care, and that place has now been shut to them, sickens me to my core. So I want to say the last 2 weeks have been an assault, a barrage, so many horrific things coming at us from every direction. You don't even know where to look or how to try and block the harm that is coming in our direction. But since the inauguration, and I would say actually since the election, nothing has made me feel so good as coming around the corner today and seeing you all standing here fighting for trans rights. It's so hard to know. We're being attacked on so many fronts. It is so hard to know where and how to react first. But today I know this is where I'm planting my flag. And I want to tell the people of NYU, as I told you, I just live a few blocks away. You're going to be seeing a lot of me. And you're going to be seeing a lot of this amazing crowd of people. And there are a lot of people here today, and we are mad as hell. But as many people as are here today, it is vitally important that we come back again and again and again, and our size grows. Because what is happening all over this country, it cannot happen in New York. Here is where we have to take a stand.
They reported that Attorney General Letitia James said to ignore the executive order, that they can still do child abuse, mutilate these children, these people that literally, some of them can't even drive a car legally because they're not 16. But it's disgusting, guys. Arletta put on X, Ken Paxton shut down trans surgery down today in Texas. Ken Paxton is the Attorney General of Texas. We need more of this. We need more of this. Less propaganda. Again, and you know what? We should be excited that that this is the hill they want to die on. They're putting their energy and effort into that. which is just great. You've seen the F Trump signs out there. You've seen the United Auto Worker signs. If that's what they want to get behind, please continue to keep exposing yourselves. Please continue to keep exposing yourself. I thought this was interesting. Again, falsifying statements of CNN, always propaganda, but they had the ghetto rep Jasmine Crockett on there. And I want you to listen to what she said.
The people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within. The people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white.
Violent crimes. CNN didn't correct her. Actually, if you number of murder offenders in the United States in 2023, let's take 2023. If you look, white 8,842, black 6,405. What's amazing about this statement, these are the violent offensive, is blacks make up less than 13% of the population overall in the United States, but they create they create that much of the violent crime. CNN, again, only airing propaganda. I love it when she talks.
The people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason,
she doesn't even say white. She says white supremacists. And it's really hard for us. With all the left-wing media, they can't come out and show us a group of white supremacists that's actually, they would love to have news of white supremacists that were out doing violent crime, but they can't. We're all against white supremacy. We're against black supremacy. We're against La Raza and brown supremacy. We're against everybody that uses any type of violence to say that their skin color makes them better. I don't know anybody that promotes that other than like the Brown Berets and La Raza that are currently out protesting in Los Angeles and other communities, but they get a free pass. When their jacket says brown pride, that's okay. If I was to wear a white pride jacket, could you imagine the outrage? But you know what? I'm not proud or prideful of my skin color. I'm prideful of the way God created me. I'm prideful that where I live and how I've worked hard to maintain that. That's what I'm proud of. It's just crazy. And what we talked about at the beginning of the show, this guy, Jared May, actually put out a hit list. We kind of talked about it yesterday, what the Attorney General said, and I just wanted to put this out. So he went out and doxed all the people that's working with DOGE, that's going through finding you billions of dollars in wasteful spending. Actually, a lot more than just wasteful spending, corruption, money laundering. And so Jared put this up on his Blue Sky RRX X, says these men carrying out must coup are Akash Baba, Edward, goes through their names and everything, and then put wanted for treason, dead or alive. And again, we covered this yesterday. And this was from the U.S. Attorney in D.C. Statement from U.S. Attorney. Our initial review of the evidence presented to U.S. indicates that certain individuals or groups have committed acts that appear to violate law in targeting DOGE employees, said the U.S. Attorney for District Columbia. We are in contact with the FBI and other law enforcement partners to proceed rapidly. We have our prosecutors preparing. Now, you just automatically know when it's these people, they work at some type of college or all the radicals, right? And so Boston University staff member calls for violence against DOGE members. Here it is. It says Jared May, an assistant media technician at Boston University, posted a wanted dead or alive image openly calling for DOGE employees to be killed. Boston University rakes in millions of federal funding. That's your tax dollars. Yet one of its staff members is advocating for violence. Will Boston University hold him accountable, or will this be ignored? So Jared has spent some of the last 24 hours scrubbing social media, and I believe by now he's probably had a visit from FBI. And Libs of TikTok shared this. Boston University employee who basically called to put a bounty on DOGE employee's head was just scrubbed from their site. So Boston University, now when you go to look for that person, sorry, the page was not found. The page you were looking for cannot be found. What other statements have they done? There's his email, jmay1976@bu.edu. Jared May. And it's amazing. Again, when we deal with leftists, we're not dealing these people, and we got to do a whole show, kind of go through a timeline, because we've been on the ground since out on the ground since 2015 on a regular basis. And we've got to see the way these leftist groups, whether it was Antifa, all the Black Bloc groups, BAM, by any means necessary, out of Oakland, and how they have transitioned. Because what we're seeing right now is not the same far leftist. Their tactics are not the same. And we're going to do a little report on that and show you how they have evolved. Look at this one. The Women's March now. Look at this. Women's March. Every Wednesday at 12:53, they want a moment of silence. Why, you say? Why Wednesday at 12:53? Tomorrow, we pause, we grieve, we stay in motion, we resist. So much harm is being done to our communities, our democracy, and people across the globe. We cannot look away. That's why starting this Wednesday, we're joining our friends at Choose Democracy for a minute for us, a weekly moment of silence to honor those suffering under this administration and the destruction it's causing. Every Wednesday at 12:53, we take a minute to reflect, meditate, or simply bear witness. Why 12:53? That's the moment January 6th rioters first crossed the barricades. You can't make this stuff up, guys. If you could analyze anything on a psychological level, which I think some of us can without a PhD, these people are hurting, guys. These people, they have nothing. They have nothing. Trump's throwing so many fastballs that even the greatest swinger couldn't hit one out of the park. And I think that's kind of taking what they've done to the United States, destroying your child's education, destroying this beautiful country we live in, importing millions and millions of illegals that hate this country and are here to destroy it. And now they're going to be doing a moment of silence every Wednesday at 12:53. Today's Tuesday. So we'll make sure we speak loud and proud every Wednesday at 12:53, folks. I thought this was interesting as we move on to other stories. Thanks to the swift, this is from Gavin Newsom. Yesterday, we covered that the elected representatives here passed two bills that are going to Governor Gavin Newsom. I think, was it SB, or I don't know if it was AB, SB 1 and 2. One of them is allocating $25 million of taxpayer money to give to the California DOJ, the corrupt California DOJ, to fight Trump and to create lawsuits against Trump. The other $25 million was to protect illegal aliens, the ones that are out in LA destroying vehicles, tagging up everything. We'll bring some video. These thugs, that is who Gavin Newsom and the Democrat Party supports. Now, there is some people stating that because of federal funding that Trump can't approve for California after the man-made disaster of our fires that just raged Los Angeles and other parts of the state, because of DEI policies and Mayor Karen Bass, who, again, promotes those DEI policies. There's some talk that he might not sign these bills. We're going to find out. But today he put this up. The EPA has a new leader, Lee Zeldin. And Lee Zeldin tweeted on February 1st, EPA just launched the largest wildfire cleanup in agency history. Over 1,000 EPA employees and other professionals are now in the field. And Gavin's response to that, thanks to swift mobilization of federal resources, EPA is leading the largest wildfire hazardous material remover effort ever in response to the LA firestorms. California values our partnership with the federal government in fast-tracking recovery. Thank you, Lee Zeldin. And again, you go back to when President Trump was in office the first time, there was other wildfires, there was other disasters where Trump had to come to California's aid, and he never held anything back. Actually, we play videos quite a bit that shows Gavin Newsom saying the pretty much what he said. The federal partnership has been incredible. I might not agree with Trump on a lot of things, but he has not let California down. Now, you've had a lot of Democrats lie about that, and then during the election, you had Gavin Newsom lie and say that it will be destructive for California. But here, what you're seeing is the truth. Again, the Trump administration working hard to get all those hazardous materials cleaned up. Trump posted this today, and I'll tell you why. This was at 6:39 a.m. 20 years ago, autism in children was 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 34. Wow, something's really wrong. We need Bobby. Thank you, Donald J. Trump. So what he was talking about, the committee voted on RFK Jr. today to move him to nomination. He wasn't confirmed. He is now moved out of that committee. I think the vote was 14 to 13. All Republicans voting to advance him, and all Democrats voting not to. We're going to talk about that. The second that happened, do you know what happened to big pharma stocks? They didn't tank, but they definitely went down a couple percent. This was from the General. It says stocks of both vaccine manufacturers, Pfizer and Moderna, immediately, they say, crashed. I wouldn't call a 4% drop a crash after RFK's Jr. nomination advanced towards the Senate. So here we have that. You look at that. That's where it went. That was Pfizer. And here we have Moderna. And again, RFK Jr., there's a lot of things that I don't agree with him on, especially environmental, and not the environmental stuff of getting chemicals out of our farming, getting chemicals out of our groundwater. I'm all for that, guys. I live how I want my government to run. I don't use crazy pesticides in my house or my lawn because I got a kid that out there playing with his dump trucks and everything else. And he is my concern. And I would expect the government to do the same thing. Brian Tyler Cohen is having a hard time accepting this because U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy said, I've had a very intense conversation with Bobby and the White House over the weekend and even this morning. I want to thank VP JD specifically for his honest counsel. With the serious commitments I've received from the administration and the opportunity to make progress, it says on the issues we agree on, like healthy foods and pro-American agenda, I will vote yes. He was kind of one of those that was on the fence. And Brian Tyler Cohen, you know, with the propaganda that they spew, you're a doctor who just voted for an anti-vax conspiracy theorist. You've made children less safe. You've made America less safe. This is your legacy. How is it making children and Americans less safe to have stricter guidelines, to actually have these vaccines tested, to actually sit there and say, we're going to be accountable to the American people that pay for the FDA and all these other agencies? And it's just amazing. I remember we were covering his hearing, and I can't remember who it was, Ted Cruz or somebody else, saying they've called you a conspiracy theorist and listed off all the things they have called him a conspiracy theorist and said, you need some more conspiracies because all those have reigned true. Then you have the Democrats. RFK Jr. is dangerous and extremely unqualified. I'm hoping he gets confirmed. I think today, and I'm not sure this afternoon, I think Pam Bondi has her hearing. I'll have to look into that. And then Senator Ron Wyden, listen to what he says.
Nominee I have seen in my time. The fight is not over. You can continue this, Senate, and I'm going to pull out all the stops because I continue to believe, I've been in public service a while, this is the most unqualified, unprepared nominee I have seen in my time in public service, and I'm going to pull out all the stops on the floor to fight it.
Can you also say? So, of course, you heard Senator Wyden there, the ranking member of the Senate Finance.
All the stops, folks. They're going to pull out all the stops. So, again, just what the Democrat platform has been, what they've raised money for, whether it's border security, while it's taking fentanyl out of your communities, they're going to stop all that. They want to stop all that. They want to obstruct anything the Trump administration's going to do, and they're doing a very horrible job of doing it. I just love how triggered these folks are. Now, we also covered yesterday about the FBI. Saturday, we did a live stream to cover some of the things that some of the Department of Justice, who prosecuted, who targeted, who politically persecuted our J6 defendants. And now we actually shared one. We shared Connor Ledbetter. We shared is a Fresno FBI agent that needs to be terminated as well. He politically went after some of the folks here locally, including our good friend Benjamin Martin. This was from Scott McFarland. Now they're doing fear tactics. They're actually looking to sue the department, these FBI agents that went after and politically persecuted and withheld constitutional rights, left going after child sex offenders, pedophiles, and everything else to go after people that were calmly walking around our Capitol. Says, should this information fall into the wrong hands, the national security of the United States would be severely compromised. It says 9 FBI employees, agents sue over Justice Department acting leadership's order that the Bureau hand over a list of employees who worked on January 6 cases. These people, it has nothing to do with national security being severely compromised. What would be compromised in all this would the unconstitutional acts that these people did. This is CNN says the FBI has turned over the names of 5,000 employees who worked on January 6 cases to the DOJ. Some fear it might lead to possible termination. So these people want to keep their job, and the left wants them to keep their job. These are their employed government activists. I've said it before. We've watched, you guys have seen it before, where I've seen officers act inappropriately, and I've sided with BLM that the officer should be fired and held accountable. Again, if you're out there doing unconstitutional acts, if you're sitting there and not holding up your oath to the Constitution, and you are actively going after people because of their political affiliation, and you are going after them more than you would another political activist or political ideologue, you have broken your oath and you're a traitor to this country. Bottom line. Can't say it any other way. DOGE, this was from yesterday. I think we might have spent this, but we're going to get into US aid again and how the left is freaking out. This was February 3rd. And just to show you kind of what some of these cuts are that Democrats are panicking about. This was one of DOGE's posts on X this morning. 20 consulting contracts, mostly focused on strategic communication and executive coaching, was terminated for immediate savings of $26 million. My tax dollars should not go for these consulting contracts or executive coaching. Just shouldn't happen. And you would be surprised at how much of your tax dollars go all the way from your local police departments. Your police departments pay lots of money to see if they should settle lawsuits or not. They go with focus groups. They pay these focus groups. They present a mock trial of what the city has done or what the police force did, and they get an idea. And they pay these people money. Should we take it to court? Should we do all this? And then they also pay consulting and everything else. They've been paying DEI consultants, whether it's Fresno PD or all these other agencies. It's just horrible. And then also today's numbers has increased to 22 consulting contracts terminations for a total saving of $45 million. These consultants, their agencies got rich. Most of them were left-wing hacks. All in today, 36 contracts were terminated for a total savings of $165 million across 6 agencies, including a DHS contract for people and cultural survey and climate support services. It was all a grift. The DEI thing has been a grift. It's been a money laundering. The climate change, it's been a grift. All your tax dollars being funneled to these organizations that funnel that money back into your favorite Democrats' pockets. And we are done here. I want you to watch this. ABC actually aired this. What the US aid employees were doing when they found out DOGE was at their office. And one of the ladies, and Elon Musk even did a tweet on this, and it was actually kind of funny. I'll see if I can find it, but let's watch this. And what this DOGE employee did with her time.
But Elon Musk's influence is sweeping throughout the administration. It was late last week that the DOGE team showed up at USAID offices in Washington and demanded access. USAID employee Christina Dry described the scene.
DOGE was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our. DOGE was in the building. We took down our pride flags. Took down
their pride flags, and she hid some books that they would think was concerning. You pay her salary, folks. I'm pretty sure she'll be out of a job. She'll be grifting off unemployment until she can find a way onto some leftist board. But Elon Musk tweeted out, what books would she be hiding? The Communist Manifesto? Oh, you can't make this stuff up. But I'm going to play this again.
I described the scene.
building. we took down our pride flags, I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our Google Meets. They unplugged the news in the little kitchen galleys. It didn't feel good. And then Saturday, all of the websites went down, and then I lost complete access to my computer.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I'm sorry, people. I had some people that were Trump supporters that said, you know what? The first administration, he got a lot done, but he's promising a lot of things that we know he will never do. And they were specifically referring to these government agencies and actually draining the swamp. And what we are seeing firsthand is the swamp being drained. I thought this was interesting. Libs of TikTok put this up. It says the U.S. spent $43 million on a gas station in Afghanistan that had no customers. $43 million. They didn't seem to matter. The task force sunk $43 million into a proof of concept gas station anyways. Then there was another very key problem. No customers. The average Afghan would have to shell out more than an entire year's worth of salary to convert their cars to run on compressed natural gas. It cost about $700, and most Afghans bring home $690 annually. This is what your tax dollars were going to. This is the waste, the abuse, and the fraud that Donald Trump and his administration are getting so much flack for. Find out today that U.S. aid funds the BBC. Why do we need to fund the BBC? And this comes from the BBC website. BBC Media's Action Global team continues to deliver impact around the world amid constant changes. I think they've even lost. They no longer post on X because Elon Musk labeled their account as state controlled, that they're not an open free media. But listen to this. Institutional funders remain our largest source of support. Our main donors include UK, USAID, and CITA, among many others. Look at that. You see where it's highlighted right here? That's the part of your tax dollars going to fund the BBC, not what my tax dollars should be going to. And again, all this is exposed because Donald Trump was elected to clean house, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now, Joni Ernst is on the DOGE committee. I told you not yesterday, the day before, I listened to an X Spaces, which she was in with Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy. I want you to see this right here. It says, from funneling tax dollars to risky research in Wuhan, sending Ukrainians to Paris Fashion Week, USAID is one of the worst offenders of waste in Washington and all around the world. This is why POTUS, DOGE, and Elon Musk are ending this nonsense. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick because it's not giving me the thread. And then Elon Musk says, would you like to see DOGE audit the IRS? And Joni put yes, and I have a bill to do just that. Once we get to the IRS, you're going to see how your tax dollars are really going. Let me see if I can find that same one here. I think this is it. Okay. More than 9 million of U.S. aid, humanitarian aid, intended to feed civilians in Syria ended up in the hands of violent terrorists, including an affiliate of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. U.S. aid has failed to put American people first and routinely tried to cloak its actions in secrecy. Those days are now over. So this is the panic, guys. This is why you had almost an insurrection yesterday at the U.S. aid office in D.C., and why you have people screaming like Hillary Clinton and others. Listen to, you gotta love Senator
doubt about cutting U.S. aid.
Now, President Trump
ran for office saying, I'm going to review every single penny in the federal budget. Now, how are you going to review the spending in the federal budget without reviewing the spending? And that's what Mr. Musk is doing. Now, many of my Democratic colleagues and some of the tofu-eating wokarati at the USAID are screaming like they're part of a prison riot because they don't want us reviewing the spending. But that's all Mr. Musk is doing, and he's finding some pretty interesting stuff. To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow. And really, here's what's going on. For 4 years under President Biden, the people in charge ask one simple question. Who needs to pay more in taxes? Who needs to pay more in taxes? Well, that's not the question that the Republicans and President Trump are going to ask. Our question is, what the hell happened to the money? And that's all that's going on.
$520 million for consultant-driven ESG investments in Africa, $45 million to DEI scholarships in Burma. Why are your Democratic colleagues seemingly more freaked out about cutting U.S. aid? This is our money. Do you know how much $1 million is? 520? I mean, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars over the years on this madness. What are they thinking? We have $40 trillion in debt.
If you notice, my Democratic colleagues and the USAID officials, they're not defending the spending. All they're talking about is process. Oh, it's an insurrection. And Elon Musk doesn't have the authority. Well, sure, he has the authority. The president gave it to him. And all he's doing is looking at the spending, just what the president said he was going to appoint Musk to do. Here's what I hope Rubio and Musk do. I would put together all this absurd spending into a booklet. I'd call a press conference, and in front of God and country and the corporate media and the USAID folks and my Democratic colleagues, I'd go over it, item by item by item, every bit of it. The DEI comic books, the transgender operas, the funding of gain-of-function research. I'd go over every bit of it and say, now, do you want to defend this? And they won't. They can't.
Oh, man, Democrats are hating life. They're being exposed, and they don't know which way to run. It's like, the cockroaches when in a room when you turn on the light. 1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia workplaces, 70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, 2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam, 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, 32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru, 2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala, 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. I mean, believe it or not, there is some people, if we do some street interviews, especially in the far left, that say, yes, that's what I want my tax dollars going to. If they want their money going to it, they can donate their own money for a transgender opera in Colombia. Right? Man. 15 days. That's what it's been. Been in office 15 days, guys. Just absolutely incredible. Listen to what Bill Gates says. We played him earlier when talking about the next pandemic. Listen to what he says here.
Necessarily political influence abroad, quote, insane, along with another word we can't repeat here. But what's your take on his political access and influence here in America right now?
Well, Elon, his private sector work, has been very innovative, really fantastic. A lot of private sector people, when they get into government, they don't take the time necessarily to see what the good work is or why it's structured the way it is. So I'm a little worried, particularly with this USAID stuff. My foundation partners with USAID on nutrition and getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So,
yeah.
With aid,
We're all
people
gonna die,
think,
folks. There's going to be deaths
wow,
across
how much
the world because other countries want to sit on America's tit. And we need to, could you imagine if we didn't have transgender comic books? The death. He's probably pooping in his pants right now. JD Vance put this out as a tweet. When Elon and team started, I was very supportive, but thought the waste and fraud would top out at about 250 billion. The real number will end up much higher. And that was from a post from Elon Musk that says fraud in the federal government is closer to 10% of disbursement. So more likely 700 billion per year. Outright waste is at least 15%. So another trillion per year. And anyone who knows the works in government knows this. If we just get back to our roots, if they get rid of all this waste, abuse, and fraud, we have so many government departments that we don't even need that Democrats support. If you think about your daily lives, and I'm not talking Social Security, you paid into Social Security. Me and many other Republicans think that you need a Social Security increase because of things like Bidenflation. And if we can cut the cost out of transgender operas and transgender comic books, maybe we can put it back in America's pocket. But Democrats don't want that. Democrats don't want that. They seem to think that this is very important. And we're going to get into some of the protests. But before we do, don't forget, we have a raffle going on. Micro Chaz is in here right now. She just just received her raffle from last week, her jersey. So we have a raffle going on. Again, it's the first of the month. We need help with funding, as always, paying the bills and hopefully get some extra to actually travel. We're only able to do this because of your blessings, and we want to say thank you. We've been 100% viewer funded. And so we have a raffle going on. It's $10 per entry. If you do $30, you get 3 entries. And the way that you can do that is the donations through Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. You can get in as many times as you want. If you prefer Zelle, if you do Zelle banking or transfers, then you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and there's a donate now button. Let me show you what you're in for. These are some of the souvenirs from Donald Trump's inauguration that we got in DC. We got a 2025 inauguration keychain. We have a inauguration pin right there. And we got this pin, an actual pin that they were selling. It says Trump and fight, fight, fight. They were selling that over at the inauguration. And if you guys remember, we were also outside of the DC gulag for a few days in very warm temperatures. And we got to meet with Eli Crane and shake his hand. And he gave us one of his congressional coins. This right here, if you can read it there, says Congressman Eli Crane, United States House of Representatives, has the eagle on one side. The other side says evil triumphs when good men do nothing. 118th Congress, Arizona 02. And it says we the people on the other side. So that will be part of that. And then also one of 3, whichever one you want, either the camo, the pink, or the MAGA red Make Speech Free Again hats. You can have them autographed if you want. And that is the prize pool right now. So if you want to help us out, let us get caught up. We appreciate it. We'll be doing the drawing on Friday, and we'll be doing it live on our show. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's kept us afloat, everybody who's helped us travel and do everything that we do. And we're going to talk about something we're doing tonight here in a minute. A day without immigrants yesterday. A day without immigrants. I don't know how it changed your life. It didn't change mine. But it did change a lot of things in
¿Qué querrá decir eso a saber? Pero por uno pagamos todos, ¿verdad? Yo, muy maldito, muy maldito. Hey, después por uno pagan todos. Vámonos, vámonos, seguimos, seguimos. What ice? Así no se puede, así no se puede. ¿Y esta qué onda? Hay raza que se pasa, Pero no pagamos todos.
Mexico. LA's not far from Mexico. If you guys want to go down there and destroy Mexico like you're doing the United States of America, feel free. And when I say that, I'm not talking all people of Hispanic heritage. No, actually, all the people I know of Hispanic heritage thinks those people are scum for destroying their city in the name of Mexico or deportations. And you know what I find interesting is this worked out really well for BLM. BLM is like literally one of the most hated groups there is, not just from white folks or Hispanic folks, but from its own community of taxpayers, the Black people. And they're doing a really horrible job of getting their message out. And actually, and I've go on these different Reddit posts and people, and I kind of go through their old comments. And I will say there was some people out in some of the live streams that were not for all the violence and destruction that we're seeing. The cars surrounded, police were injured. Probably more police were injured in the last 48 hours than ever happened on January 6th, but you won't hear that. Whether it's rocks being thrown at police, beer bottles being thrown at police. And again, this is being encouraged by Democrats. You heard Hakeem Jeffries says we need to take this fight to the street. We need to be out there. This is their call to action, their call to violence, if you will. Take a look at this one here. But asking them, you can peacefully protest. Stop blocking the roads. There's ambulance that needs to get through. There's people on their way to work, people that actually pay, like have a legal Social Security number and actually pay taxes so that us, the police, are funded. And there was so much of that out there yesterday. Let me see if I can find the other one up here. Maybe it's and again, imagine being a taxpayer. There's videos like this all over. And on your way home, picking up your kids at school, and a mob comes at your vehicle. A mob of trash. On the back of her vehicle. Jumping on vehicles. We covered the day before all the vehicles that were damaged. I think it was in Arizona. Police vehicles that were destroyed because of these people, and these people will never pledge allegiance to this country. There's got to find a way, and I think it'll happen under Trump, to get rid of these people, and yes, I am advocating for that. Again, our country is not safe, and these people make it less safe, obviously, from their actions. So last night, I don't know if any of you are watching, but Los Angeles Police Department flanked some of the protesters in a tunnel. And here was some of the video I captured off one of the live streams. Let's take a look here. Hold on, that one. Let me refresh that. And I actually seen people, even on the conservative side, say, oh, the police are going to make arrests. And I'm like, are you crazy? They're under direct orders to allow this to happen. The chaos is what they need. Just like BLM, you had, Portland, Seattle, all these far left cities like Los Angeles with Mayor Karen Bass that just helped destroy much of the city with her prevention of fires. And so these people were handcuffed, walked down the street, and released. Even those that committed violent crime, destruction, vandalism, and it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, but there is some good
around, and he's no longer going to allow messing around, and he's no longer going to allow America to be a dumping ground for illegal criminals from nations all over this world. And so El Salvador has not just agreed to the repatriation of their own citizens, but also illegal criminals from other nations who will then be sent to their prisons. Venezuela as well has agreed to repatriation flights, and Colombia also agreed to cooperate with the repatriation of illegal Colombian nationals that we have found in the interior of our country. And I can also confirm that today, the first flights from the United States to Guantanamo Bay with illegal migrants are underway. Trump is not messing around, and he's no longer going to allow America to be
Gitmo with some of the most violent, heinous actors that have broke into this country, committing their first crime. And it's going to be an absolute, they're not winning. This was from ERO Los Angeles. ERO Los Angeles arrested a 47-year-old non-citizen following a conviction of driving under the influence. This non-citizen had previously been arrested for driving without a license and evading police officers. So again, these are the people you want out of the country. Some of y'all might be a little butthurt. That's okay. That's okay. We're making America great again. And that will be done with legal immigrants. That's how you do that. And then listen to this.
Immigration status is not yet at the point that
Governor Murphy saying that he was harboring an illegal above his garage. Listen to what Tom Homan had to say about that.
Let me read a headline to you. Chicago leaders encourage residents to exercise their rights. Deportation policies. The governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, basically admitted that he knew somebody that didn't have full documentation, that he was hiding over his garage.
But there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Your comment on all of that?
Well, I think the governor's pretty foolish saying what he said, because I got note of it, won't let it go. We'll look into it. And if he's knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien, that's a violation of Title 8 United States Code 1324. I would seek prosecution, or the secretary would seek prosecution. So maybe he's bluffing. If he's not, we'll deal with that. And as far as suing sanctuary cities, well, get in line, because the Trump administration is going to do that already. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. There's one example, right? If the young sanctuary cities in New York City, If they would have gave us over the killer of Laken Riley when he got arrested in New York City for endangering a child, he would have been in jail. And he would never killed Laken Riley. Sanctuary cities are responsible for deaths of thousands of young children throughout my career. And we're going to sue him. We're going to hold him. And look, if he's got to go to the Supreme Court, that's what President Trump wanted to do. He will end sanctuary cities.
It's coming. They can protest.
You know, there was a 2011.
They can continue the criminal mischief. They will be caught, and these people that are harboring them and having these things. Yesterday we covered the NGO that was coaching them, and we've said this for coaching them to lie to immigration authorities, how to seek asylum when they're only here to work. And today, here's another one.
Individuals to remain in the United States. It is not a crime for undocumented individuals to remain in the United States, according to versus United States. That's a 2012 court case. Then there's another court case, the People versus DeMarco, that says local law enforcement is not permitted to detain people without a judicial warrant. So those are some of the cases that we have to operate under. It is not a crime for undocumented individuals to remain in the United States,
the sheriff,
according to
New York Sheriff Tobiah. That's
versus United States. That's a 2012
I can't even say this word.
court.
Onondaga County Sheriff Tobias Shelley already coming out, and again, I want there to be a fact. I can't wait. What we're seeing at USAID and everywhere else, and all the panic is nothing. In this administration, again, I pray for Donald Trump and his safety, because they want him dead more than they want anything else. And with what's going on, these people will be held accountable. These people will lose their jobs. And then this morning, I had the news on in the background, a local KMPH station, and they said that there's a big investigation going on about 23 miles away from us, Madera, California. It said there was a substitute teacher in there, and he had a conversation with a student. And let me see if this actually has the conversation or not. I couldn't find that story when I was looking. It says Madera Unified responds to substitute teachers' immigration comments. It says Madera Unified initiated an investigation after students reported a substitute teacher making immigration-related comments during class. Principal Sabrina Rodriguez at Matilda Torres High School sent a message to parents saying a substitute teacher engaged in a political discussion with students on topics related to immigration and immigrants. During this discussion, the substitute teacher allegedly expressed their views related to these topics, views the district say does not align with their own views. So this is a publicly funded school, funded with your tax dollars. And what he said is, from what I heard this morning on the news, was that these people are cutting in line, that we have people that are actually want to become U.S. citizens that cannot because of all these people cutting in line, and that a lot of these people are now living off the taxpayer, just like in New York and everywhere else. And it said the school continues to say personal politics of adults have no place in the classroom. They don't have a problem with what goes on in an adult's bedroom, sharing that out. And again, Madera Unified, horrible. Most of it, not all of it, is a horrible school district, very comparable to Fresno Unified. Yeah, that's all that was on that one. I'll try to see if I can find the other stories that had more involvement in it. A 20-foot vessel was seized by CPB ammo agents in California. 6 Mexican nationals were on board attempting to illegally enter the U.S. Among this group was a previously reported individual who previously served 15 years for murder. God bless Border Patrol, able to do their jobs now. Again, those are the people that want to come into our country, and Democrats want to keep them. There is people protesting right now as we speak to have those people freed, and it's not going to happen. Tonight we are going to be actually at my local city council meeting. You remember, we don't go to our local city council meetings that often. We went there during COVID because we have a couple people, they all identify as Republicans in Clovis, folks, but let me tell you, they're not. At best, some of them are moderate Democrats. Our mayor pro tem of Clovis, Diane Pierce, is an excellent representative. And it says, I want us to fight. It says, as mayor pro tem of Clovis, California, I want us to join this fight and stand with Huntington Beach as a non-sanctuary city. I will be bringing this up at our next meeting on Too Far. Our 5-member council is all Republicans, but one has already said he is against this. Public safety comes first to me. And this is a response that we've covered extensively. Huntington Beach is now a non-sanctuary city. I'm going to go there to support our mayor pro tem and to expose, and I already know who it is. She didn't even have to say a name, and I know it's part of the Good Old Boy Network. Let me pull this up, and I'll tell you who will be against it and who will be for it. City of Clovis. Hold on. Sorry. So, City of Clovis. Hold on. I didn't have this up. So, here are the ones. And I want to tell you, we only have 2 strong conservatives in the city of Clovis, which is Vong Menatua and Diane Pierce. Lynn Ashback, she was the one that's recently been called out for all her bonus payments for being on a board at Valley Children's Hospital during the pandemic. She is not a conservative. I'll tell you, Matt Basgall wasn't really on the citizen side when it came to the exposing of pornography being displayed, inappropriate book material on display at our Clovis City Library. And Drew, I've never been a fan of. I'm just going to tell you right now, Drew is a blowhard. He was the one that took responsibility. We went to the Clovis City Council meeting during this wasn't even the first year of the pandemic, the second year of the pandemic, and they moved in the Christmas tree lighting ceremony to virtual. They didn't allow our community to go watch it. Guess what? We went out there and we watched it, and we live streamed it for folks. But again, Lynn, Matt, and Drew are probably going to be against this if I am correct. We are going to be there tonight. And I don't know yet if I'm going to make a statement that if you guys remember when I got involved in politics, we started a Stop the Madness political action committee, which worked to unseat the folks of the school board. Some of those folks on the Clovis school board had been there for 24 years, 20 years, 20 years. And we were done with the same old routine. I am glad to say that started a shift in Clovis. And there is not one person sitting there that was on that board then. And so we might just invite people to another Clovis group where we'll start a political action committee and make those people like Lynn Ashbeck actually feel the heat and actually not be voted in again. I think she has 3.5 years left. I think she was just voted in again. And the problem with that is a lot of times these people run unopposed in Clovis. It's the good old boy. Matt Basgall is actually our former police chief, and I liked what he did on the Clovis Police Department. However, I did not like his stance of attacking Diane Pierce when she brought up the inflammatory and inappropriate books at the county library that was located in Fresno, just about 100 yards away from where that city council meeting was. So we will be there live. We will be there. I don't know if I'll be live or not, but I will definitely post some updates for you. And again, God bless Diane Pierce for, again, We have to stand up. We have to stand up and stand against the craziness. One other thing I wanted to close with was some J6 stuff. Joe Biggs put this on X, and we wanted to bring some awareness to this. It says this person is refusing to rent for me over something the president has forgiven. So Joe Biggs is out there looking for a place to rent, and when he texts that person, it says, "I would like to schedule a tour. Would any of these days works for you?" The respondent said, "Are you Joe Biggs from the January 6th insurrection?" This is what the federal government, those corrupt DOJ, those corrupt FBI members wanted. They wanted the punishment to last a lifetime. And in Joe Biggs' case here, it is lasting a lot longer than his commutation. Here is that person here, Regina Marston. And again, we can't allow this to go. Go look at the tweet. I shared it out. Go share that. Let people know what's going on. And as always, Benjamin Martin is still a political prisoner in McFarland, California. He is a Fresno area resident. And even though he is being pardoned, he is still in jail on J6 related search of his home. Do everything you can. Call everybody. I'll be putting more post outs this evening. We have to continue prayer for these people. And again, guys, I want you guys to know we made the difference in the first time. We, the people, can make the difference now. Before we get off, do not forget, now's your time to enter into the raffle that helps us pay for all this, the phone bills, the internet, everything else, the travel we do. And again, we are behind at the beginning of the month, and we need to get caught up. We have a raffle going on. It is our inauguration prize pack, and it has the pin from the 2025 inauguration, the keychain, and this pin here that we picked up, Fight, Fight, Fight. Also, it includes this congressional coin from Eli Crane. He gave this to me when I shook his hand outside of the DC Gulag on January 21st, while he was out there fighting for the release of our political prisoners. On one side, it says, "Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. Arizona 02, 118th Congress." Take a look at that. Yeah, it came in clear that time. On the other side, it says Congressman Eli Crane, United States House of Representatives, and it has the eagle. That we are going to be picking a winner Friday, and also one of three hats, the Make Speech Free Again camo, the Make Speech Free Again pink, and the MAGA red Make Speech Free Again. You get to choose one of those, and if you would like, they will be autographed, signed by me. So if you guys want to help out, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And you can also use Zelle if you prefer Zelle. Go to our website, TheOreoExpress.com. That's it. I was saying the Give, Send, Go. Scroll down a little, and there's a Donate Now button with all our links. We want to say thank you for keeping us on the air this long. Again, without your blessings, we couldn't be doing any of this. And stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and we might be live at the City of Clovis meeting tonight. We'll see how that turns out. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for everything.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed, because right now, every order ships absolutely free.